What if I told you there's a city where magic is as real as the laptops we use every day?
Hmm, I'd say sign me up.
A city that banned cars centuries ago and where students compete in something called Mana Ball.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Is this where I say, tell me more?
It's not a fantasy novel, you guys. It's Manaheim. And you, my friend, have sent us a treasure trove of documents about this place, its history, its culture, even its festival food.
Which, by the way, sounds incredible.
We are so ready to dive in with you.
Buckle up. Manaheim is a wild ride. A place where history, magic, and technology collide in ways you wouldn't believe.
Okay, let's unpack this. We need to start at the beginning, back when Manaheim was just a humble port town known as Port Royal. What was life like back then?
Picture this. It's about 300 years ago, and Port Royal is this bustling hub for fishing and trade. Ships laden with spices, textiles, who knows what else, all pouring in from far-off lands. It was a true melting pot, even back then.
It's amazing to think that this bustling harbor town would one day become the Manaheim we're about to explore.
It's quite a journey.
It makes you wonder, what were those early industries like? Did they have a hand in shaping Manaheim's destiny?
Absolutely. Fishing, logging, mining, those were the economic engines. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. You see, Port Royal was under the rule of the Kingdom of Castleguard, a deeply religious nation. Imagine a skyline punctuated by towering churches, no skyscrapers allowed. That was the vibe.
Wow, a city with a mandated skyline.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about an interesting architectural aesthetic. It makes you wonder how those early residents navigated life under such strict rule.
Well, it was a fascinating clash of old world beliefs bumping up against this burgeoning spirit of progress.
Yeah.
And then, boom, everything changed. The discovery of the mana well.
It's like something out of a story, this mystical energy source just waiting to be tapped.
It was a game changer.
That makes you realize how one event can completely rewrite a city's story, right?
You hit the nail on the head. It was a mana rush, not a gold rush. And overnight, Port Royal and the Kingdom of Castleguard were catapulted onto the world stage.
From sleepy port town to mana-powered powerhouse, that's quite a transformation. But, like any powerful resource, mana must have come with its own set of challenges. It couldn't have all been smooth sailing, right?
You're right. Just like with oil or any precious commodity, mana created a stark divide between the haves and the have-nots. Economic disparities, ethical dilemmas surrounding its use, it even fueled a shadowy mana black market.
It's a sobering reminder that even in a world with magic, those same power struggles emerge. With great power
Comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Exactly. And nowhere is that more evident than the founding of the Manaheim Academy. Initially, it was all about control. Only the elite, mostly sons of those in power, had access to mana education.
So it was a way for them to maintain their grip on this powerful new resource.
100%.
It reminds me of the early days of any technological advancement. Knowledge is power.
Precisely. And this dynamic would play a pivotal role in shaping the city's destiny, especially against the backdrop of a much larger conflict, the God Wars.
This wasn't just some local squabble. From what I've read, these God Wars were a world-altering event, weren't they?
Absolutely. Imagine empires clashing, each vying for control of resources, territory, and this is where it gets interesting: ideological dominance. They believed their gods were invested in the outcome.
So a holy war fueled by faith, and let's face it, a good dose of old-fashioned power grabs. Where did Manaheim, still under Castleguard's rule at this point, fit into this massive conflict?
Manaheim became this strategic, albeit reluctant supplier. They provided ships, mana-powered tech, think early prototypes of the devices that would later define the city.
So even while Manaheim was churning out resources for this war fought in the name of religion, doubts were already beginning to surface. It's fascinating how these conflicts can expose the cracks in a society's foundation.
You're telling me it's like this pressure cooker of conflicting ideas.
And then, to make matters worse,
It gets worse.
an enemy nation decides to pay them a visit, the Doriconians.
And not just a friendly visit. We're talking a full-on 40-day bombardment of the harbor. It was a devastating blow.
Wow, talk about adding insult to injury. So what was Castleguard's response to all of this? They didn't just abandon Mannheim, did they?
You'd think they'd rush to their aid, right? But you'd be wrong. They doubled down on a campaign to reclaim some holy landmark, leaving Manaheim to fend for themselves.
So Mannheim was stuck between a rock and a hard place, literally caught in the crossfire of a war they were having second thoughts about. It makes you wonder, how did they possibly survive?
It was a defining moment for Manaheim. They went into survival mode, relying on their ingenuity, that independent spirit they were known for, to weather the storm. It was during this crucible that the seeds of their independence were sown.
And those seeds eventually blossomed into a full-blown Declaration of Independence.
Talk about a glow-up.
Manaheim, no longer Port Royal, broke free from Castleguard's control and never looked back.
Exactly. It's a testament to their resilience and their unwavering belief in their own path, even when the odds were stacked against them.
It's like they were forged in fire, emerging stronger and more determined than ever before. And that brings us to a pivotal moment in our deep dive, the birth of Manaheim as we know it today.
And it's fascinating how that spirit of independence, that resilience forged in the face of adversity, shapes Manaheim even today. It's woven into the very fabric of the city, you know.
You're right, from their mana-powered innovations to their unique approach to urban planning. Speaking of which, what does Manaheim actually look like today? I've seen pictures of these incredible monorails and rooftop gardens, but I'm dying to get a real sense of the place.
Okay, close your eyes.
Okay.
And imagine a city where the air hums with the quiet energy of mana, not the roar of engines.
Okay.
Private vehicles, practically non-existent.
Yeah.
Manaheim is a centuries-old band. Instead, you've got these sleek monorails gliding silently overhead, spacious walkways bustling with pedestrians, and an intricate network of bike paths weaving through the city.
It sounds like a breath of fresh air, literally. And talk about a dream for anyone who's ever been stuck in traffic.
Right.
But I'm curious about this emphasis on sustainability, this almost utopian vision. Does it truly reach every corner of the city?
That's the question, isn't it? And this is where Manaheim's contrasts come into sharp focus. Yes, you have these gleaming monorails and verdant rooftop gardens, but you also have neighborhoods grappling with inadequate infrastructure, struggling to reap the benefits of this progress. It's a stark reminder that even in a city as innovative as Manaheim, equity remains an ongoing challenge.
It's like this constant push and pull between innovation and tradition, progress, and the persistent echoes of the past. It makes you wonder, what's it like to actually live in Manaheim? What are the different neighborhoods like?
Let's take a stroll, shall we? We can start in the Port District, where it all began. You still find those bustling docks, the salty air, thick with the scent of the sea.
I can only imagine.
But now interspersed with these incredible seafood restaurants, some even built on repurposed ships.
Now that's an experience. Imagine dining on fresh-caught seafood with the tang of salt air and the gentle rocking of the waves. It's like a direct link back to Manaheim's roots as a port town. What about those who prefer a more land-based experience? What's the commercial district like?
Ah, the commercial district. A feast for the senses. You've got your charming boutiques overflowing with locally crafted goods, artisans showcasing their skills in open-air workshops, and these vibrant marketplaces where you can find everything from hand-blown glass to enchanted trinkets. It's a testament to Manaheim's thriving artisan culture.
I can practically hear the rhythmic clang of a blacksmith's hammer and smell the warm, yeasty scent of fresh-baked bread wafting from a nearby bakery. But Manaheim isn't just about quaint shops and bustling harbors, is it? It's also a center of power and industry, right?
Absolutely. You've got the economic district, a hub of activity with its towering offices, banks, and those deal-making restaurants where you can practically smell the ambition in the air.
Oh, I know those places.
And then there's the political district, a fascinating blend of old and new. You've got your grand civic buildings, bustling government offices, and those hushed halls of justice where the city's laws are debated and decided.
It's amazing how Manaheim seems to effortlessly blend those different facets of city life. The historical with the modern, the practical with the magical. But you mentioned something about industrial areas, too, that doesn't quite compute with the image of Manaheim I have in my head.
It might surprise you, but Manaheim has a long industrial history dating back to its days as Port Royal. But here's the twist. Instead of belching smokestacks and polluting factories, imagine workshops humming with the clean energy of mana. Forges fueled by enchanted flames, and entire assembly lines powered by intricate magical contraptions. It's a testament to their ingenuity and commitment to sustainability.
It's like they've found a way to harness the power of both magic and technology without sacrificing the environment. It makes you wonder, what can we learn from their example? But amidst all of this progress, I can't help but think back to those contrasting neighborhoods we talked about. Where do people actually live in all of this?
You've got everything from those opulent hillside mansions with panoramic views of the city and the harbor. We're talking sprawling estates with rooftop gardens and private monorail platforms.
Sign me up.
To more modest homes nestled within the heart of the city, often built around communal courtyards and shared green spaces.
It's like a microcosm of the city itself, this incredible diversity of experiences all coexisting within this vibrant tapestry. But there's one place I'm particularly eager to learn more about, the Manaheim Academy. From everything you've described, it sounds less like a school and more like a legendary institution.
It's true. The Manaheim Academy is in a league of its own, but it wasn't always that way. Remember how we talked about Mana education being reserved for the elite?
Right.
Well, after Manaheim gained its independence, they completely overhauled the academy. They transformed it into a beacon of knowledge and innovation, accessible to all, regardless of their background.
Wow, talk about a 180. It's inspiring to see how they took this institution that was once a symbol of exclusion and turned it into a force for equality. It makes me wonder, what's the teaching philosophy behind such a radical transformation?
It's all about nurturing the whole person,
Hmm.
their intellect, their magical abilities, and their sense of civic duty. The academy emphasizes critical thinking, ethical decision-making, and understanding the interconnectedness of all things, very much in line with Manaheim's broader values.
It sounds like they're not just teaching students how to use magic, they're teaching them how to use it responsibly for the betterment of themselves and their community. It's a far cry from those early days of control and exclusivity, isn't it?
Absolutely. And this shift is most evident in the academy's unique structure. They have these four distinct houses: the Azure Bears, known for their steadfast dedication to community and tradition; the Crimson Tigers, fierce competitors, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a mastery of their craft;
I like them already.
the Golden Eagles, adventurous souls drawn to exploration and pushing the boundaries of what's possible;
Naturally.
and the Verdant Deer, known for their empathy, compassion, and unwavering belief in the power of positive change.
Each house embodying a different facet of Manaheim's spirit.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, how do they all coexist within the academy? Is there a sense of rivalry, or is it more about collaboration and mutual respect?
It's a bit of both, actually. There's a healthy dose of competition, especially during the annual inter-house tournaments. But there's also a deep respect for each house's unique strengths and perspectives.
It sounds like the academy itself is a microcosm of Manaheim, a place where tradition and innovation, competition and collaboration all converge to create something truly extraordinary.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
I love a good gear shift.
We've talked about Manaheim's history, its districts, its incredible academy.
Don't forget those mana-powered factories. Right, right. But what about its culture? What makes this city truly unique?
Manaheim. They know how to celebrate. It's all about this vibrant, infectious energy. And it all comes to a head during their incredible festivals.
I've read about these festivals, and they sound truly spectacular. It's like a citywide celebration of magic, nature, all things Manaheim, really.
Oh, absolutely. Each one is a unique experience. They really go all out.
Let's start with spring. What's the vibe of the Spring Flower Festival?
Imagine a city awash in vibrant hues, a tapestry of color that stretches as far as the eye can see.
Sounds beautiful.
It is. The Spring Flower Festival is a symphony of renewal, a celebration of life's rebirth. The entire city is alive with stunning floral exhibitions, public gardens overflowing with blooms. And they have this citywide tradition of planting seeds for the season ahead. It's a vibrant spectacle that embodies Manaheim's deep connection to nature.
It's like a magical blend of beauty and practical magic.
Exactly.
And I hear the Manaheim Academy even gets in on the action with a communal garden where people can plant and harvest together.
Oh yeah, it's a big community affair.
It's a perfect example of how magic can enrich everyday life. But as much as I love the idea of a city blanketed in flowers, summer must be pretty epic too, right? Especially with Manaheim being a coastal city.
You're absolutely right. The Summer Water Festival is Manaheim's tribute to its aquatic surroundings. Imagine the aroma of seafood boils filling the air, people gathering for massive cookouts along the beaches and in the parks.
Sounds delicious.
And of course, water sports enthusiasts from far and wide come to participate in races and competitions. It's a celebration of all things aquatic. Think summery vibes, vibrant energy, and a healthy dose of friendly competition.
It's like one giant beach party, but with a magical twist. And knowing Manaheim, I bet they've got some pretty spectacular water magic displays happening too.
Oh, you could bet on it. They've always got some surprises up their sleeves.
But then autumn rolls around and the city transforms again, right?
Yes. Autumn brings with it a symphony of color. The Autumn Trees Festival is a celebration of nature's changing palette, a time for Manaheim to showcase its stunning scenery.
I can picture it now. vibrant reds and oranges.
Oh, it's breathtaking. People flock to the hills, the lighthouses, those incredible observation towers for panoramic views of the city, swathed in these vibrant autumn hues. It's truly breathtaking nature's magic on full display. And then, of course, you've got your jack-o'-lantern competitions, haunted houses, spooky decorations.
They've got that perfect blend of festive fun and just a touch of spooky charm. It sounds like a delightful mix of tradition and modern-day festivities.
They really do a great job of blending the old and the new. And for those brave enough to venture beyond the city limits, there are rumors of haunted forests and swamps where the spooky festivities are taken to a whole other level.
Okay, now that's definitely going on my Manaheim bucket list.
Yeah.
But after all that excitement, things must settle down a bit with the Winter Ice Festival, right?
In a way, yes. Winter in Mannheim is a time for introspection, community, finding warmth amidst the chill. The Winter Ice Festival embodies this spirit with its focus on charity and togetherness. People come together for food drives, donate gifts to those less fortunate, and of course, everyone gathers to admire the intricate ice sculptures and twinkling light displays that illuminate the city. It's a truly magical time, full of warmth and generosity.
It sounds magical in a whole different way.
It is.
It's heartwarming to see how these festivals bring people together throughout the year. But even with all this magic and celebration, no city is without its challenges, and Mannheim is no exception.
That's true. Beneath the surface of Mannheim's vibrant culture and technological advancements lies a complex web of social and political tensions. Remember those disparities between the rich and the poor we talked about earlier?
Right, from those lavish hillside mansions to the neglected neighborhoods near the industrial zones. It's a stark reminder that even in a city powered by magic, inequality persists.
And it's not just about wealth. There are also lingering tensions stemming from Mannheim's past.
Like what?
Well, you've got your secular versus religious viewpoints, ethical debates surrounding magic use and its regulation, and even some leftover animosity between Castleguardians and Doriconians.
It seems like Mannheim's history continues to shape its present in ways both big and small. Even those friendly rivalries between the academy houses hint at a deeper current of competition and maybe even a little bit of distrust.
Precisely. But here's the thing. Those tensions, those unresolved issues, they're not necessarily a sign of weakness.
I've never thought of it that way.
They're a sign of a city grappling with its past, striving to create a better future, even if it means confronting some uncomfortable truths along the way.
It's a reminder that even in a place as magical as Mannheim, progress isn't always linear. It's messy, it's complicated, and it requires constant dialogue and a willingness to learn from the past. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We really have.
From Mannheim's humble beginnings to its current status as this global center for magic, technology, and culture. I feel like I need to book a trip.
You absolutely do.
It's been fascinating to explore, and I hope our listeners are feeling as inspired by Mannheim as I am. Until next time, keep exploring.